If you listen to English stories for just 20 to 30 minutes every day, you will improve your listening skills faster than you ever imagined. Your pronunciation will get better. Your vocabulary will grow stronger. And most importantly, you'll start thinking in English naturally. But here's the challenge: I dare you to try listening to this entire story without looking at the captions. Can you do it? But don't worry, if you can't understand something, you can always turn the captions on. Think of this as a fun game, not a test. You're training your ears to understand real English. What you're about to hear is the story of the Godfather, but told in a way that will transform your English listening skills. This is a story about family, power, and choices that change everything. You'll hear about a moment when a young man has to choose between his old life and a dangerous new world, and that choice will shock you. Are you ready? Let's begin this incredible journey together. Our story begins in New York in the 1940s. The main character is Vito Corleone, Vito Corleone. People call him Don Corleone or simply the Godfather. He is the head of a powerful Italian-American family. But this family is different from normal families. They control illegal businesses. They solve problems that the police cannot solve. Vito has 4 children. The oldest son is Sonny. He is hot-tempered and quick to fight. The second son is Fredo. He is gentle but weak. The daughter is Connie. She is getting married at the beginning of our story. And then there is Michael. He is the youngest son, and he is very different from the others. Michael fought as a soldier in World War II. He is smart, calm, and educated. Most importantly, Michael wants nothing to do with his family's illegal business. He has an American girlfriend named Kay. He dreams of a normal, legal life. But sometimes, life has different plans for us. The Corleone family lives by a simple rule. They help people who cannot get help anywhere else. But everyone who receives help must return the favor someday. On his daughter's wedding day, Don Corleone sits in his office. People come to ask for his help. This is an old tradition. On a wedding day, the Godfather cannot refuse any request. The family seems strong and united. Don Corleone appears to control everything. But as you will hear, powerful enemies are planning to destroy everything the Corleones have built. And the person who will save the family is the one person who never wanted to be part of it. Can you imagine how that feels? To want a peaceful life, but to be pulled into a world of danger? The trouble begins when a man named Virgil Sollozzo, comes to see Don Corleone. Sollozzo wants to start a new business, selling drugs. He needs the Corleone family's protection and political connections. In return, he offers to share the profits. But Don Corleone says no. He explains that drugs will bring too much attention from the police. His politicians and judges will not protect a drug business. It's not good business, he says calmly. Sollozzo is not happy with this answer. He knows that without Don Corleone's protection, his drug business will fail. So he decides to solve his problem in the most dangerous way possible. Meanwhile, you might be wondering about Michael. He is trying to enjoy a normal evening with Kay. They go to the movies together. They talk about their future. Michael tells Kay about his family, but he promises her that he will never be like them. "That's not me, Kay," he says. "That's my family." But while Michael is enjoying his peaceful evening, something terrible is about to happen. How is your listening going so far? Remember, it's okay to use captions if you need them, but try to focus on the sounds first. The next day, Don Corleone goes shopping for fruit with his bodyguard, Luca. It seems like a normal, quiet afternoon. The old man examines oranges carefully. He wants the best fruit for his family dinner. But Sollozzo's men are watching. They have been waiting for exactly this moment, when the Godfather is not surrounded by many protectors. Suddenly, gunshots explode through the peaceful afternoon. Don Corleone falls to the ground. His bodyguard tries to protect him, but it's too late. The attackers escape quickly, leaving the powerful Godfather bleeding on the sidewalk. The news travels fast. Sonny receives a phone call at the family compound. His face turns white with shock and anger. "They shot Papa," he tells the others. The hot-tempered oldest son immediately wants revenge. "We go to war," he shouts. But war is exactly what Sollozzo wants. With Don Corleone in the hospital, unable to lead, Sollozzo believes he can force the family to accept his drug business. He sends a message: "Make the deal, or more people will die." This is where Michael's story truly begins. He visits his father in the hospital. The old man is unconscious, connected to machines, fighting for his life. Michael sits beside the bed, holding his father's hand. For the first time, he realizes that his family needs him. Late that night, Michael discovers something terrifying. There are no guards at the hospital. Sollozzo has paid the police to leave Don Corleone unprotected. Slow, this means that killers will come tonight to finish what they started. Can you imagine how Michael feels? His father is helpless, and enemies are coming. Michael acts quickly. He calls his brother Sonny for help, then does something brave and dangerous. With only the help of a baker who came to visit Don Corleone, Michael moves his father to a different room. They pretend to have guns, standing guard outside the new room. When Sollozzo's killers arrive, they see two men guarding the door. In the darkness, they cannot tell if these men are dangerous or not. Confused and worried, the killers decide to leave. Michael has saved his father's life using only intelligence and courage. But this victory creates a bigger problem. Now Sollozzo knows that Michael is no longer neutral. The youngest Corleone son has chosen a side in this war. "You're doing great, keep listening. This is exactly how you improve your English." The next day, Sollozzo asks for a meeting with Michael. "Let's make peace," he says. But the family knows this is a trap. Sollozzo plans to kill Michael at this meeting. However, Michael surprises everyone with a shocking plan. "I'll go to the meeting," he tells his brothers. "But I won't go to make peace." Sonny thinks his younger brother has gone crazy. "You're not a killer, Michael," he argues. "You're a college boy. You've never even held a gun." But Michael's mind is made up. He explains his plan calmly and logically. "They expect me to be weak and scared. That's exactly why this will work." The family prepares carefully. They choose a small Italian restaurant for the meeting. Before Michael arrives, Clemenza, one of Don Corleone's most trusted men, hides a gun in the restaurant bathroom. Michael will excuse himself during dinner, get the gun, and return to finish Sollozzo forever. Can you follow the story without looking at the captions? You're training your ears to understand natural English speech patterns. This plan will change everything. If Michael kills Sollozzo, he can never return to his old life. He will become part of the family business forever. There will be no more college, no more normal life with Kay, no more dreams of being different from his father. But Michael has already decided. Family comes first. Sometimes we must sacrifice our dreams to protect the people we love. The meeting takes place on a cold evening. Michael arrives at the small restaurant wearing a simple suit. He looks nervous and young, exactly what Sollozzo expects to see. With Sollozzo is Captain McCluskey, MCCLUSKey, a corrupt police officer who works for the drug dealer. The three men sit at a table in the corner. Sollozzo orders wine and begins talking in a friendly voice. "Michael," he says, "you're a smart boy. You understand that business is business. Your father was old-fashioned, but you can be different." Michael listens carefully, nodding sometimes, asking simple questions. He plays his part perfectly, the scared young man who wants to avoid violence. But inside, his heart is beating fast. He knows that in a few minutes, everything will change forever. "I want to make a deal," Michael says quietly. "But I need to understand exactly what you're offering." Sollozzo smiles. He thinks he is winning. For 30 minutes, he explains his drug business. He talks about money, about territories, about the future. Captain McCluskey drinks wine and watches the door, but he is relaxed. After all, what danger could come from this college boy? Then Michael does exactly what he planned. "Excuse me," he says politely. "I need to use the bathroom." He stands up slowly, walks to the back of the restaurant, and enters the small bathroom. His hands are shaking slightly as he reaches behind the toilet, exactly where Clemenza said it would be. His fingers touch cold metal. The gun. "Remember, it's okay to use captions if you need them, but you're doing amazingly well." Michael stares at himself in the mirror. This is his last moment as the person he used to be. When he walks out of this bathroom, he will be someone completely different. There will be no going back. He takes a deep breath, puts the gun inside his jacket, and returns to the table. "Everything okay?" asks Sollozzo. "Fine," Michael answers, sitting down again. "Now, where were we?" They continue talking for a few more minutes. Michael asks more questions about the business. His voice is calm, but his mind is focused on one thing, the right moment. Then Sollozzo makes a mistake. He becomes too comfortable, too confident. He leans back in his chair and laughs at something Captain McCluskey says. For just a second, both men are completely relaxed. That's when Michael acts. The gun appears in his hand faster than anyone expected. Before Sollozzo can react, before McCluskey can reach for his own weapon, Michael fires. Once. Twice. The sound is incredibly loud in the small restaurant. Sollozzo falls forward onto the table. McCluskey tries to stand, but Michael turns the gun toward him and fires again. The corrupt police captain crashes to the floor. The restaurant becomes completely silent. Other diners stare in shock. The waiter drops a plate. Time seems to stop. Michael looks down at the gun in his hand. It feels heavy and strange. A few minutes ago, he was a college student with dreams of a normal life. Now he is something else entirely. He drops the gun on the table and walks out of the restaurant into the cold night. Can you imagine the weight of such a moment? When you cross a line that you can never uncross? But Michael's problems are just beginning. Killing a police captain, even a corrupt one, brings enormous trouble. The newspapers write angry stories about mob violence. The police search everywhere for Michael. Sollozzo's allies want revenge. The Corleone family acts quickly to protect their youngest member. Within hours, they send Michael far away from New York. He travels to Sicily, the island where his father was born. There, he will hide until the situation in America becomes safer. You're doing great, keep listening. This is exactly how your English improves. Don Corleone has recovered from his injuries, but he is older and weaker now. He realizes that he cannot protect the family much longer. So he begins teaching Michael everything about the business, not just the illegal activities, but the complex web of relationships, debts, and loyalties that hold their world together. A man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man, Don Corleone tells his son. But he also teaches harder lessons: keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Can you follow how Michael is changing throughout this story? Character development like this is what makes great stories so powerful. Michael learns quickly. He understands that their enemies are still planning to destroy the Corleone family. But instead of reacting with anger like his brother Sonny did, Michael plans carefully. He identifies every enemy, every threat, every person who betrayed them. Then, on a single day, Michael eliminates all of these threats at once. While he stands as Godfather at his nephew's baptism, his men carry out multiple assassinations across the city. By the time the church ceremony ends, all of the Corleone family's enemies are dead. This scene is incredibly powerful because it shows Michael's transformation completely. He speaks holy words in church while ordering deadly actions outside. He has become exactly what he once promised Kay he would never become. Don Corleone dies peacefully a few months later, playing with his grandson in the garden. He suffers a heart attack among the tomato plants he was growing. His last moments are gentle and natural, a quiet end for a man who lived such a violent life. Michael becomes the new head of the family. But the cost of this power has been enormous. He has lost his innocence, his first love, his brother, and his father. Even Kay struggles to recognize the man she once loved. Remember, it's okay to use captions if you need them, but you're training your ears beautifully. The story ends with a scene that shows us exactly what Michael has become. Kay asks him directly about the violent things people say he has done. "Did you kill those men?" she asks. Michael looks at her for a long moment. Then he says, "Don't ask me about my business, Kay." But she insists. "Did you kill them?" Finally, Michael lies to her face. "No," he says calmly. Kay believes him and feels relieved. She kisses him and goes to make dinner. But then we see the truth. Through the doorway, Kay watches as Michael's men come to show him respect. They kiss his hand and call him Don Corleone. She realizes that her husband has become exactly like his father, powerful, feared, and completely changed from the young man she fell in love with. The last image shows Michael sitting alone in his office, the door closing slowly, separating him from the world outside. He has gained incredible power, but he has lost almost everything else that once mattered to him. This is the tragedy of Michael Corleone. He wanted to be different from his family, but circumstances forced him to become even more ruthless than his father ever was. Sometimes, protecting the people we love requires us to become people we never wanted to be. The Godfather teaches us that family loyalty is powerful, but it can also be dangerous. Power always comes with a price. And sometimes, the choices we make to protect others end up destroying the very parts of ourselves that made us worth protecting in the first place. What do you think? Can you understand how someone might make Michael's choices, even if you disagree with them? Congratulations! You just listened to approximately 25 minutes of English storytelling about one of the greatest movies ever made. Whether you looked at the captions or managed to follow just by listening, you've just improved your English skills significantly. If you were able to resist looking at the captions for most of the story, that's absolutely amazing. Your listening skills are getting stronger every day. If you needed to peek at them sometimes, that's perfectly normal and still excellent practice. The important thing is that you challenged yourself to listen first. How is your listening going so far? Could you follow Michael's transformation from a college student who wanted peace to a powerful leader who would do anything to protect his family? Did you feel the emotion when he lost Apollonia? Could you understand the sadness of his final scene with Kay? These emotional connections are exactly what make story-based learning so powerful. When you care about the characters, you naturally pay more attention to the language. You remember vocabulary better because it connects to feelings and images. If you enjoyed this story about The Godfather, try our other movie stories. We have tales of adventure, romance, friendship, and heroism, all designed to improve your English while entertaining you. And remember, just 20 to 30 minutes of listening practice like this every day, focusing on audio first, will transform your English abilities. Don't forget to like this video if it helped you improve your listening skills. Subscribe for more English stories that will challenge and entertain you. And let me know in the comments, were you able to follow the story mostly by listening, or did you find yourself reading the captions? What was your favorite part of the Godfather story? Did you expect Michael to change so completely? See you in the next story, where we'll continue building your English skills together.